the first MMA fighter to take on a Hall of Fame boxer at the biggest stage in the octagon, which is the UFC, when you face James Toney. When you see everything that's going on with Conor and Floyd Mayweather, mentally, what was it like for you to prepare for the unknown? Because James Toney coming inside the octagon is kind of an unpredictable situation. Mentally, what was it like for you preparing for that?
I took it very seriously. I felt like our reputation as mixed martial artists were on the line. There's been this constant rub and question between the boxing world and the MMA world since I started fighting in '97. And who would win, and who's better, and you guys are terrible strikers in mixed martial arts. We would knock you out. And, I mean, just the rhetoric has gone on and on and on. And certainly Floyd Mayweather has been one of those voices from the boxing world. Mm-hmm. James Toney was another one that stepped up, and at least James, put his money where his mouth was, and he stepped into the MMA cage. I give him credit for that. I took him very seriously. I studied his boxing. The shoulder roll, the hook that he throws is as good as anybody in the game. And the real question in my mind was how much MMA was he going to be able to learn in the 4 months that he had to prepare for that fight? And I think we answered that question. It wasn't very much, to be honest. He lasted about 1 minute and 40 seconds. I wasn't silly enough to stand around in front of him and test his hands. I gave him enough respect as a boxer that this was a mixed martial arts engagement. I want to see if you can sprawl. Can you stop me from taking you down? If I do take you down, do you have a guard? Can you play the ground game? Can you survive there at all to get back where you want to be, which is standing there in front of me trying to punch me in the face? And it was apparent that James hadn't kind of put any of those other tools for mixed martial arts in his tool belt. And that, I think that we're on the opposite side of the coin here with McGregor and Mayweather. Mm-hmm. This is a pure boxing match. The best boxers in the last 10 years haven't really been able to lay a glove on Mayweather. Uh-huh. It hasn't happened. Why would we be silly enough to think that McGregor is going to walk out there and hit this guy? He's one of the best defensive boxers that we've seen in a long time. So I think James Toney had a 1 in 10 chance of catching me coming in and ending my night in a mixed martial arts engagement. I think Conor McGregor has a 1 in 10 chance of catching Floyd Mayweather with something crazy because he's unorthodox, he's young, he's long and big for that weight. Mm-hmm. I think he's got a 1 in 10 chance of getting something done. But good money will tell you that it's probably going to go the distance, and it's probably going to be Floyd. Slick, moving, hard to hit, and frustrating for Conor McGregor.
In your preparation for James Toney, obviously there's a fine line when training to not overcompensate for boxing, because I'm sure you didn't have any intention on boxing James Toney, and to not, maybe I guess you could say, overtrain grappling and things like that. How did you balance that? Like not training too much boxing because that's not what you want to do, but working on your better tools.
Well, boxing has been something that I focused on almost from the beginning. As a mixed martial artist, Western boxing and kickboxing are a big part of what we do. Mm-hmm. We obviously have to couple those things with wrestling, grappling, Thai fighting, the clinch fighting, and the jiu-jitsu and wrestling on the ground. Those things are all linked together in a mixed martial arts repertoire. Where obviously boxing, a lot of those things aren't even allowed. It's purely a striking engagement. I knew that my boxing was adequate for a mixed martial artist to allow me to get to the places I needed to be to take advantage of my years of wrestling and grappling experience. And it was no different training for James Toney. I wasn't out there sharpening my boxing skills for that fight. Mm-hmm. I was sharpening my defensive skills and trying to anticipate what punches or combinations he might throw to catch me as I try to close the distance and get my hands on him, mm-hmm. to make him wrestle me, to make him fight on the ground and take him out of that strength, which is his boxing. And that's what, that's where the low single came into play. I wrestled in college at Oklahoma State, which was known for that technique, that real low shot. That low shot makes it very, very hard for a boxer or striker to throw a knee or throw an uppercut and catch you coming in on a double leg, because you're so low. You're literally down below his knee. And as soon as I saw James wearing the ankle sleeves, the neoprene ankle sleeves that he had on, I knew I was going to be able to hang on to his foot. And and that I was probably going to be able to secure that takedown.